Howdy, and welcome to the Highline Herd podcast, where stories ride strong and the bond between folks and their horses runs deep. Each Sunday, we're talking everything from trail tips and tack to good old horse sense and the people who live it every day. Keep up with the herd by following us over on Instagram at the Highline Herd and swinging by our website at thehighlineherd.com. Now, let's ride into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Highline Herd. I'm Skylar.
And I'm Shelby.
And today we are going to be talking about something that surprisingly we haven't talked about before. Hay. And no, not the hay like hi, like the hay that you feed your horse. You know, the grassy stuff.
The bales that make a mess and get in every crevice. It's worse than sand.
Yeah.
It's... Every time we get hay, I'm always ready to go change my clothes immediately.
Yeah. Filling hay mitts or tossing hay, tossing bales, stacking hay, all of it, the fun stuff that gets in everywhere.
It's everywhere.
What's that one Star Wars meme where it's Anakin?
Of course you would quote the Star Wars.
Sand, I hate sand.
It's always sand. Why do we always gotta hide out in a desert?
Yeah.
Isn't that where every Star Wars movie is based, is in a desert or on a spaceship?
Something like it.
Can you imagine, though, like, they're tracking in all the sand from the desert, trying to clean a spaceship of sand?
Yeah.
It would not be easy.
That would not be fun.
Because they always like textured floors for some reason in spaceships. I don't get it.
So you don't slip when the spaceship just wheat.
But they already get launched into the wall, so I'm not sure the textured floor does anything.
Who knows at this point? I don't know. So anyways, we're going to be talking about hay today and the different types of hay, different styles of hay, how they're baled, how they're made, how they're grown,
how
regionally.
To serve them.
There's actually a large variety of hay that a lot of people don't know about.
There is, and a lot of it is because of your location. Certain hays are not available in certain locations, which is something to bear in mind in this episode. We will be talking about a bunch of different types of hay, but only like 2, maybe 4's kind of pushing it,
it's
of these types. So maybe half of the types of hay we talk about we actually know of and have experience with.
Because they're in our region.
Right, but there's some hay we're going to mention that's not in our region.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we live in the Midwest. It's gross.
Ohio.
We could have, the wettest possible spring and then have the driest summer. So what we grow here needs to be able to handle more clay-based soil that tends to hold moisture and crack when it dries.
Yes.
So some of this is going to be personal experience. Some of this is going to be what we found. So some of this hay might sound familiar to you, or maybe there's a type of hay in your region we missed.
Yeah, if there is a type, let us know. We'll want to do a little bit of research on it for our own sake. And
it's always cool to learn, too, because there's so many benefits to the different types of hay.
Yeah.
And depending on what your horse needs.
Yeah.
Hay is now like wine. You can find a flavor for everyone.
Yes, exactly. And
you can
some
get the
horses
$2
really
bottles. You can get the $40 bottles. You can get the $7 bales or the $15 bales.
Ooh, okay, yeah. It can get pretty pricey, especially depending on where you are.
Yeah. The cheapest is probably
gonna be your fescue hay.
Yeah.
That's just, other people call it grass hay. It's just what grows in the field and the farmer cuts it down.
There's nothing really special or notable about it.
There's not anything like...
It's just a combination of grasses.
Exactly. There's no like, oh, this hay is amazing because it does X, Y, and Z. No, it's just your average day hay.
It's your cheapest option. It's the most common in our area.
Yeah. And it's known usually for its durability, like its growth, like its drought resistance. It can kind of grow in anything. And it's more of either roughage for livestock or horses.
Tends to be longer stemmed.
Yeah.
If you have a horse with fecal water syndrome or something like that, bear it in mind.
Yeah, it doesn't give them the nutrient, like as
Yeah.
much nutrients as they need.
And this is one I personally have at least noticed really depends on when it's cut.
Yes.
I have found
yeah.
like I think it's usually first cutting tends to be really soft with fescue hay,
Yes.
but as you go through the year it tends to dry out
Yeah.
significantly.
First cutting is definitely softer and sweeter. So your horses are going to most likely like it more.
Oh, they clean up.
Yeah, they don't leave any scraps. And the second cutting or third cuttings, you know, they're kind of like,
Irritating.
yeah, okay, it's lost all the flavor and the specialness.
Yeah.
They could be a little bit more picky.
Crunchy.
It could be a little bit more stemmy and they leave it behind, which, hey, I don't really blame them in that aspect. But yeah, it's nutrition. It's just kind of moderate protein for the horses.
Yeah, it's one of those hays that's like pretty flexible. Pretty much any horse can eat it.
Yes.
Whether or not they're going to benefit hugely
That'll
is
depend on the horse.
But
yeah, it's, you know, still high in fiber. It's a good source of, you know, the typical minerals like calcium, phosphorus, and potassium, which is the big one. And it's not as high energy as like alfalfa.
It doesn't have the same protein level and calorie content of alfalfa.
No.
Fescue hay is like perfect for your easy keepers.
The easy keepers, the ones that get fat on air.
The ones who so much as like think about a scoop of feed and they've gained like 400 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Or they smell it.
Yeah. This is also a really easy hay to rinse and soak.
Yes. Yeah, I found like with my horses, because this is what I feed my guys, it's really good. Chance likes his hay soaked. And that's just him.
He has no teeth, so I don't blame him.
He does have teeth, but they're worn down. But
because soaking makes it softer.
It is. It makes it softer, and he likes watered everything. Which,
can we blame the guy?
I don't blame him. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? You drink as much water as you want, buddy. It's better for you.
Just
it's
stop
better
pooping
for me.
in it.
Yeah, please. For the love of everything holy. That's my only gripe with that horse. Yeah. Laziness and the pooping in the buckets. No.
Yeah, but fescue hay is like, in our area at least, it's like the most common type. It's just a variety of grasses.
It's typically what most
people
not special. Have. Yeah, like through the winter. It's like, hey, we've got leftover this hay. You want it? You got it, but this is what we have.
Yep.
Yes.
And we are in the time of year where, okay, hay's hay.
Beggars cannot be choosers.
No, even as much as my horses would like to be choosers.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah.
Along the lines of common basic hays.
Yeah, the next one would be Timothy. And Timothy hay is a little bit higher in fiber and the nutritions that they need. A lot of horses like the flavor.
Timothy's super palatable for most horses.
Yes.
For most animals.
Yeah. Usually the smell of it, and they're just like, give it to me right now. Yeah. And it's, you know, just a lot of people use it for helping a horse like keep the same weight or even to gain weight in some cases. It could be for seniors. It could be for horses that, you know, have digestive problems, Chance, or metabolic issues.
Chance, Walker.
Chance. Yeah.
Timothy is not high in sugar, guys. Like, fescue and Timothy, it's not super high in sugars. And if you soak it, you remove all of those starches and sugars.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why it's good, especially for horses like with laminitis and, you know, any issues where they cannot have sugar.
Like minis.
There you go. Yeah. Little chubby chubbies.
People don't realize just because it's smaller doesn't mean it's easier to keep. In fact, mini horses tend to be far more complex to keep than your full sizes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard of too many horror stories. But yeah, it's really good. It's high in fiber. It's low in calories, you know, making this an excellent for preventing obesity and just kind
of
maintenance, keeping that steady weight on the horse. And again, it's high fiber. You just kind of helps with other things like respiratory health, and all these different types of hay too. Sometimes you can get them in options where
it's available in low dust varieties. So if you have a horse like with navicular or respiratory issues or anything like that, it's good for them.
Yeah, navicular isn't so much affected by dust, but I'm not really sure why you said that one. You know it's not. That's a joint issue, not a lung issue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brain fart.
Brain fart.
It's 1:30,
It's 1
guys.
in the morning.
Yeah. We've had a day just planning and getting stuff together. So this is I pushed Skylar to record this episode before bed. So
Yes.
but Timothy is a great hay. It really is. Like she said, it's super palatable even to picky eaters. It comes in, actually most of the hays we talk about, like she said, come in low dust varieties, which is great for respiratory issues like heaves, and arthritis, or not. Now I'm doing the joint thing.
It's 1 in the morning.
It's not arthritis. What's the asthma?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Asthma and allergies.
Oh, guys. This is great.
Yeah, we've got it together. But one thing Skylar didn't really mention is fescue hay and Timothy hay are horrible if you have a horse with fecal water syndrome.
Yes. Yeah.
So fecal water syndrome it's getting more attention now, but there's not a lot of knowledge around it.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I've seen talked about with nutritionists in regards to fecal water syndrome is if you have any long stem forage, like Timothy hay or fescue hay, it tends to make that worse. If you chop your hay though, or if you get really soft hay, it can help a lot with that. Speaking from experience, my guy tends to be pretty wet in the wintertime when he's on hay, especially right now because the hay we have is super stemmy. It's horrible. But when springtime rolls around and summertime where the grass is really lush and he can go out and graze and the hay we get is really soft, he's fine. His manure is solid. So
yeah, and that's kind of the same for one of my guys too.
Yeah. It's just something to bear in mind, guys, is when you're looking at the type of hay to buy your horses, if they do have something like fecal water syndrome, consider the roughness of the hay you're getting. If it's super stemmy and rough, their guts are probably going to have a harder time processing it. They might have a harder time chewing it.
Yeah.
All things to bear in mind. One hay that tends to go, I've seen go both ways. It's either super rough, super stemmy, super thorny, or it's super leafy and soft and amazing.
Beautiful.
Oh, is alfalfa hay.
Yep.
Alfalfa hay isn't actually a grass per se, like the others. It's a legume, which is more like
Isn't it bean? No. No.
What's the lentils?
Yeah.
It's think like lentils. Lentils are technically a legume as well, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So think like those. It's super nutrient dense. It's super high quality. A ton of protein, a ton of vitamins and minerals. It is the main hay for performance horses, hard keepers. It is the main hay for pregnant mares, lactating animals, like your mare that is actively nursing a foal, your cattle that is actively producing milk. Alfalfa is the go-to hay, but it is a nutrient powerhouse.
Yes.
It is super palatable and delicious, but bear in mind it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to grow.
It's really hard to grow, and it's really hard to get in certain areas.
Yeah, it's so easily affected by the weather. It doesn't reseed itself like the other hays do. So like Timothy and fescue, yeah, you might have to reseed your field a little bit, but usually your field reseeds itself and you're good for a year or two. Whereas alfalfa, I think you only get like a year out of each field and then you have to flip-flop and rotate. And alfalfa is really hard to manage, so I understand why it's expensive, but it is truly a great hay. But we're going to touch on an alternative here in a second. But unfortunately, that alternative is not really available to us because we are so far north.
Yes.
And the delivery fees
that
would make the alfalfa
almost
I
triple.
don't know if I'd say triple,
Well, not
but
the alfalfa, but the other option would be tripled.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Another one that's super, super common in our area amongst, again, performance horses, high quality boarding facilities is the orchard grass. And typically it's an orchard alfalfa mix.
They usually cross it.
Yeah, to kind of die down the nutrient protein levels of the alfalfa. For some horses, alfalfa is super rich in proteins and calories. Alfalfa by itself does not make your horses hot. It is dependent on the individual horse. If alfalfa is making your horse hot, you might want to consider something like orchard grass. It's still really nutritious and palatable, more so than Timothy or fescue, but it's not quite as high as alfalfa.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more moderate. Now, orchard grass is super soft, so it's really nice. It's very similar to alfalfa in that.
It smells amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
it's usually a lot greener, too.
It is. It's pretty.
Yes. It is like, when you think of hay, like you think of orchard, like, oh, it's so wonderful.
Yeah. So of the 4 hays we just touched on, if you wanted to like level them in terms of price and nutrient density, alfalfa is your highest. It's the highest in price, but it's also the highest in nutrients and all of that.
Everything. Yeah.
Then orchard grass, then Timothy, then fescue.
Yes.
And these are just the 4 hays that are most common to us and our area. Like, I love orchard grass. If it wasn't so expensive to buy the seed for it, I'd probably plant it in my fields.
Yeah.
As a part of the grazing. But my guys aren't special. They're fine on fescue. I only have one with metabolic issues, and I just leave him in anyway for time of the year, so it's better for him, guys. It truly is.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but it is better for him.
It's what works for him. Yeah.
I almost forgot about tefe. I personally love tefe. So tefe is fine stemmed, so it's really soft, like orchard grass. It actually does taste good for the horses. It is not the prettiest though. It tends to be very yellow because it is a more warm season grass, and you cut it later in the season than you do the others. So you want it to be in the sun more and it bakes a little bit more. But it is super high in fiber, super low in sugar and starch. It is a very healthy alternative to some of the others that may be, like orchard, that may be higher in sugar and starches. So if you have a metabolic horse, you may not want to give them alfalfa or orchard. tefe is a fantastic alternative for your metabolic horses, for your horses with fecal water syndrome. And like I said, it is super fine. It's super soft, super palatable. If I could get teff hay as like my main hay that I feed, I absolutely would. I had my horse Valor on it for 3 weeks while he was on stall rest. The barn I was at would not provide him extra hay.
Oh.
But if the dude's going to be on stall rest and not allowed to do anything except hand walk, he's got to have something.
Have something to occupy that brain.
Yeah. Especially because they were a 2 flakes in the morning, 2 flakes in the evening type of facility. So I brought in my own hay. I brought in teff hay. Loved it. It was amazing. It didn't stab your hands like some of the other hay did. He did amazing on it.
Oh, good.
So, because you've seen him, Skylar. He's disgusting in the stall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love teff hay. It's just, it's not super common in our area. Not because it's hard to grow in our area. Just a lot of people don't know about it. So they stick with what they do know. Fescue, Timothy, orchard.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate because I think teff is definitely the underdog of the hay world, but we don't grow hay. We don't sell hay like that, so we don't control the hay market.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah. If I could find a hay dealer who regularly dealt in teff for a reasonable price, I would absolutely load up my barn with it. It is truly amazing. Chance would probably do really well on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just hard to come by.
Yes.
So let's talk about some hays that aren't really available to us, but have their own benefits for the areas they are really popular in. One big one that I recently learned about, and Skylar and I were actually talking about it a little bit.
Yeah.
This one's super, super popular in the South because it's fantastic for that sandy, dry, drought-like soil, and that is peanut hay.
Yeah.
Which was actually fascinating to learn about and read about because everyone's calling it the alfalfa of the South.
Yeah.
Because it is economical, so it's cheaper than alfalfa because it's hardier than alfalfa, but it has all the same benefits that alfalfa gives you.
Yeah, I keep seeing people talking about it on social media and just raving about this hay.
It's really like coming into the world and everything. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to make sure like you know what you're looking at when you buy it, because there is a less desirable product that has a peanut like residue on it still. So make sure like if you are purchasing peanut hay, you know what you're looking at, or you're getting it from a reputable source, and you're not just buying it from somebody who says, "Oh, I have horse safe peanut hay." It might not be horse safe.
Yeah.
So, but that goes for any hay, really. Make sure you're buying from a reputable person, or you know what you're looking at. Peanut hay is not available to us, unfortunately.
Sadly.
Yeah, as I said, it's the alfalfa of the South for a reason. It's a legume like alfalfa. It really likes that dry, sandy soil that we do not have. It really likes that warmth that we lack most of the year, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I would say our weather is probably most similar to England.
Yeah, rainy and crazy.
Muddy.
Muddy.
That's probably the big one, just mud.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
We had the least amount of mud this winter, but mostly because we
just
were
jinxed it.
well below. I said winter. We're in spring.
We're kind of in like
We're in the turning point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's in mud season.
Yeah. But yeah, we didn't have a muddy winter because we were frozen for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Like frozen.
Yes.
The kind of frozen where you walk outside and your eyeballs freeze.
Yeah.
The final hay that I don't know much about personally. I haven't seen
Neither
many
do
people
I.
talk about it. I think it's more of a thing on the coasts than in the landlocked states. Again, I don't know. I have no experience with this hay.
Same.
I've never heard anybody really talk about it. So maybe it's a hay that's dying out of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people are developing better strands of orchard and alfalfa and peanut and timothy that they prefer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But Bermuda hay is a popular choice for certain areas. It's high in fiber, doesn't have a ton of protein and sugar compared to alfalfa and orchard, but it does have more than timothy, so it's good for weight management, gut health kind of things. But it is a more temperamental hay like alfalfa is.
Mm.
You have to be particular about the area you grow it, when you cut it, when you maintain it, all of that.
Yeah.
Which is where things like teff hay, fescue, peanut hay tend to kind of dominate the hay industry. They're very hardy and durable. They're not picky
They
hays.
outperform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you can get say 1,000 bales off one field of timothy versus 400 off of the same size field with alfalfa in it, the math's not hard.
Yeah.
So I don't blame people for pricing things the way they do and for doing the things they do.
Baling hay is a lot of work too.
It is. I've done it. I've partaken in it.
Uh-huh. It's not fun and it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not, especially when you're working with a pregnant woman who is half your size. And so you're somehow the muscle even though you're like a 5'2" hobbit.
Yeah.
So hay's not fun, but I think it's a good experience. I think everybody should have the experience of baling hay. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's people that would agree with me, but
no, probably not.
I think the kids of today also would be mad if they had to go mow the lawn or pick up sticks.
Yeah.
That was a favorite punishment of my dad, was go pick up sticks.
Yeah.
Pick up sticks until you feel better.
Yep. Fun times.
Yeah. But those are kind of the hay types. I know I didn't go into a lot of depth on Bermuda, but again, it's not something we have a lot of experience with. No. I've not heard a lot of people talk about, so I really don't want to give a whole lot of information on something that I don't really know about. Mm-hmm. If you want something high in fiber, again, I will rave about teff hay till the ends of the earth.
Well, and there's, like you said, a lot of, hay, folks that are growing hay, the farmers, they're combining hay. And
they're doing a lot of mixes.
Yes, the mixes are becoming really popular. They've been popular for a hot minute, but like the newer stuff is kind of growing, and I'm hearing a lot of people talking about that online.
Yeah, I think they're getting better I think they are improving at better distinguishing the percentages and nutrients and minerals in the bales,
Mm-hmm.
which helps a lot because there are some horse people out there that are so picky about their hay. And I don't blame them. I mean, you spend a certain amount on a horse, especially in vet bills, you're going to be particular.
You're gonna be picky.
Yeah. But mixes are really common. I think they're mostly common again in big barns. So boarding facilities with like 20 plus horses or performance facilities.
Yeah.
There's not many types of mixes that I know about though. I know alfalfa and orchard is one.
Mm-hmm.
Orchard and Timothy is another.
Timothy and alfalfa.
Yeah. It's usually percentages where it's rarely a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's usually more of one and less of another. Usually the higher protein hay is the one that has the lower percentage. So like if you're in an orchard alfalfa mix, I think it's going to be more orchard than alfalfa.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a Timothy orchard mix, it's going to be more Timothy than orchard. So just bear that in mind when you're shopping for hay. If you're looking at hay and you're thinking, well, I love the benefits of alfalfa, but my horse doesn't need all of that. They really need something like Timothy, but I want them to have the nutrients of the alfalfa.
Mm-hmm.
Find a mix of the two.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure, consult your vet or nutritionist.
Yeah, consult them, and then you can also ask, like, if it's from a reputable hay person, ask them if they test it, or if they offer hay testing, to see exactly what percentages are what, and what is in the bales that they're giving you.
Yeah, never be afraid to talk to your hay dealer, your hay farmer, if you aren't really sure that they can provide you the information you're looking for in certain questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know my hay guy, he deals mostly in cattle, so asking him about horse-specific qualities of hay, he's not going to be as wise to.
Yeah.
But if you go talk to like other people that use the same dealer or use the same type of hay, they can kind of help you and guide you in the right direction if you don't have access to a nutritionist or vet.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to help our horses and give them the best complete diet as possible so that they're happy and healthy.
Now, there is one thing I really want to touch on as we move into this next topic because I'm really passionate about it because I think it's the biggest scam in the hay world. If you are testing your hay for sugar content, you are wasting your money. And I am not saying this from the perspective of one person's opinion. I am saying this from the perspective of speaking to people who have been in the industry for 40 plus years, who have been dealing with hay for 40 plus years, who have been nutritionists, who have had hands-on experience evaluating hay. Testing for the sugar content of your hay is almost always a waste of your money. And the reason this is, and anyone who like deals heavily in pasture maintenance or even just basic botany understands that the sugar content of hay changes throughout the day.
Yeah.
It changes based on when you cut the blades last. It changes based on the height of the sun. It changes based on the dew that was on it that morning.
Yep.
It changes based on when you tedded it, or tedded and raked. If you're not sure what tedding is, just think like a giant rake goes through and fluffs the hay and organizes it.
Airs it out.
Yeah. Turns it over.
Mm-hmm.
The sugar content of hay can change from bale to bale, depending on the field you pulled it from, the time it was baled, how long it sat in the field, how long it sat in the bale. The sugar content of hay is always fluctuating.
Mm-hmm.
So testing for it is not very reliable, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it can change from bale to bale.
It can change from flake to flake.
Yeah.
So say they baled one. So if you've ever baled hay, you're never going to have the baler entirely empty of hay. So whenever you go out to the field, if it's the first bale of the season, your first bale or so, maybe it's the first 5 bales, are usually toss bales.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually not worth keeping because there's so much old hay mixed in.
Yeah.
But say they cut one day and they went to cut the next. There's going to be hay left in that baler.
Mm-hmm.
So one bale may have 2 completely different sugar contents. You don't know. And unless you're going to go through and test every single flake,
that's rough.
Yeah. If you're really worried about the sugar content in your hay, soak your hay, steam your hay. Consult your veterinarian about how best to deal with the sugars in hay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your horse needs to go on cubes or pellets. Skylar will dive into that in a moment. I just really wanted to touch on, do not spend your money testing the sugar content in hay.
Yeah.
You can absolutely test your hay for minerals, for nutrients, for things like foxtail, or contact with things like black walnut. Absolutely test your hay. If you find dead things in your hay, get rid of it.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
But testing your hay for sugar is not the amazing, glorious thing you think it is. It's not
No.
the most effective tool in your box for managing your horse's insulin sugar levels. So I just really wanted to make that very clear for all of you because it drives me insane when I see people being like, oh, test the sugar in your hay, test the sugar in your hay. I have an insulin resistant horse. Okay, that means this guy cannot process sugar like a typical horse.
Mm-hmm.
This means I have to completely eliminate sugar from his diet as much as physically possible. I don't test his hay. And in the span of 6 months, because I completely cut grass out of his diet for a certain amount of time, because I changed his feed that he was receiving, and I put him on medication, I brought his levels, his insulin levels down significantly in a way even my vet was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I have never seen this kind of drop in a horse's insulin levels before.
That's awesome.
I did not test my hay for sugar. I did not start soaking his hay immediately because I wanted to see what we got. And I still don't soak his hay. Granted, I'm feeding fescue, so it's just a basic random mix of grasses. But I'm not testing the hay to manage his insulin levels. I'm not testing the hay to manage his sugar intake. I am doing what I can in other ways that are more financially feasible and more realistic to do long term. That is, he does, as soon as we hit end of next week, so end of March, I am taking him completely off of grass until September, October, when the grass starts dying and the sugar is almost non-existent. He, right now, wears a muzzle with a dietary insert while he's out.
Much to his disdain.
Oh, he gets angry. He gets to the point where he won't let us put it on.
Yeah.
Oh, anything else you can put on his face, but when the muzzle is present...
Get that away from me.
Yeah, there's a rebellion.
You evil human.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I know it's tasty, buddy, but you don't need the sugar.
Yeah.
Testing the sugars in your hay is not, should never be your first avenue to manage their sugar intake.
Mm.
So, the other things you can test for, like I said, nutrients and minerals is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very important for your horses.
Yeah. It's very important how you feed your hay.
Yeah.
There's
And make sure you're
many
giving
ways.
a lot of it, too.
Yeah, but before we really dive into that, let's go over the different types of baling, because I feel like a lot of people either aren't aware or don't really talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Shelby and I, we get just normal square bales.
They weigh about 45
40,
pounds on average.
40 pounds, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I've had
kinda
some that have,
dictates.
I've had some that are more wet, so they're a little heavier,
Mhm.
or some guys bale a little denser.
Really dense, yeah. You try to lift one of those and you feel it.
Yeah, speaking from experience as someone who is usually the hay thrower, I don't know how the Hobbit becomes the hay thrower, but I do. Throwing a 50-pound bale, you'd be surprised how quickly that can throw you off your feet.
Oh yeah.
The momentum just carries
you with it. Yeah, part of you leaves with the bale.
Right. So the standard square bale for us is about 30 to 50 pounds, depending on who baled it and how they baled it.
Yeah, and usually it can be anywhere from, I've seen one of my bales was 8 flakes, which was insane to me. They were just gigantic flakes because of how that one was baled. Anywhere from 8 to 20. I had a thing where they were super thin and little, so it can fluctuate.
I've had a bale I've had one bale before because it was so dense. Fill 3 hay nets.
Yeah.
Because they were thin flakes, but they were so dense.
Yeah.
That I would get 4 of them in a net, and I was
them
like,
up a little bit, and you're like, oh wait, there's actually a lot of hay here.
Well,
Yeah.
they're so dense that you put a certain amount in a net, and you're like, if I put more, I'm not going to be able to lift it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've also had bales, because the way they've been run through the baler, it feels like the whole bale is just one giant flake because it didn't cut all the way through.
Yeah.
So it's just, you're stringing it apart.
It's just trying to pull it.
Yeah.
It's like spaghetti noodles.
Yeah,
Like you can't separate it.
It's just permanently tangled. You're like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
It's like the world's worst rat nest.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, that's typically what Shelby and I feed. Another one that I feed is a round bale. So it is hay that is coiled up, essentially, into this gigantic bale. And it's more for going out in the pasture, or if you have a covered pasture feeder or anything like that. It's for the horses to kind of, they can graze a little bit, but they ultimately go to that hay if you have, low grass or a mud lot or a sand lot, a paddock, something that's not really meant for grazing. It's a way for them to get their food, get everything that they need for the day. And it works for me and my herd because when we have the really rainy weather, we put them all in the mud lot. We have that designated pasture space.
But that brings up a good point though, the risk of round bales. You run a high risk of mold and botulism when you're feeding round bales.
Yep.
That have that kind of exposure to the elements. If you feed a round bale in the field with like a hay hut or, like you said, right, a round bale feeder specifically with like a roof, you lower that risk significantly. But when you just feed it open in the field, you run the risk of botulism and mold.
Yes. And I know at least with botulism, you can get your horses vaccinated. And if that is something that you do feed, talk to your vet if they haven't already, told you, hey, you should probably put them on this vaccine. That's what I'm actually going to be making sure that all my horses get this year for their, yearly annuals.
It's a nasty disease.
It's not fun.
No.
No, and anytime you can prevent something,
Go for it.
Do it.
Don't get us started on the rabies vaccine again, please.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That could be a episode in of itself, just ranting about that.
Yeah. So there's square bales, round bales. There's chopped hay, which is going to be more ideal for your senior horses who can't really chew or don't have teeth. Say their teeth had to be pulled or their teeth are worn down. They can't keep that food in their mouth.
Yeah.
It helps them digest, eat that, whatever, a lot easier.
And the nice thing about chopped hay too is you can buy it or you can do it yourself. I've seen people do it with, there's actual products out there for chopping hay, but if you're looking to save a buck, I think I've seen people do it with a weed whacker and a garbage can. I've seen people do it with a mulcher. The effectiveness, I think, varies when you're not using the products designed as intended, but you don't have to buy chopped hay if you only have one horse on it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And then there's the giant bales.
Yeah, the large square bales. Tongue twister.
we promise we're going to bed after this episode, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. We got this.
We got it. It's good. It's all good.
Those are the bales that you can try as you might, but you are not moving them with your your person. You need a machine to get them to where they're going to go.
Or a big burly cowboy.
We wish we had those.
These kinds of bales, they're not common in Ohio.
They're not.
I only know of one dealer that really regularly deals in them. And even he says, just get equipment. Don't try to move these things by hand.
Yeah, don't try to roll them. You can't. Don't try to flip them or drag them or do whatever.
No,
it's just easier. Get a lift. Get something that can move them for you.
I know they're really popular out west, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's because they're harder to blow over when they're being moved from place to place.
I would assume it's wind, but hey, if you guys
don't know if they last longer.
Yeah, if you guys have some insight as to why, further out west, you guys go with this type of bale, we would love to hear, firsthand.
We're always looking to expand our knowledge. And we are always looking to understand other people's experiences.
Yeah.
Because again, we live in Ohio. our area could not be more different from living in like Arizona.
No.
Even Oregon was like a totally different world for us to be in.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So we are always looking to understand how everybody else lives.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are kind of the main, types of bales that you'll see, and we wanted to talk about that because not a lot of people know about them. I didn't know about the large square bales. It's a tongue twister for me right now. I don't know why.
I know my one client feeds them because the hay guy she deals
Yeah.
with, that's all he does is the large ones.
That was my
Yeah.
first experience with hay like that was through her.
And
Yeah.
the flakes are massive.
Like
Almost
the size
unmanageable.
of me.
Yeah.
You just gotta like break little chunks off and just pull and yeah.
They flaked really nicely, his
They
bales.
did flake
They were
really
just
good.
giant flakes.
Yeah. Just huge.
Yeah.
So a big thing too, and this is probably the biggest portion of what we're going to talk about today, is how do you feed your hay?
This is also surprisingly, guys, the most controversial topic when it comes to hay. Like,
Yeah.
people will bicker about types of hay, but ultimately they'll agree, oh yeah, it does depend on your horse's dietary needs.
Yeah.
I guess you can use this type over this.
I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Like, they'll bicker, but ultimately it's like, okay. But, like, how you feed hay,
Yes.
be very careful.
Be careful on which comment war you're going to start if you do go into a post and...
If you ask, what's the best way to feed hay to my horse?
Oh my goodness.
That's a very dangerous ground you're treading on, my friends.
Yes. And I think the biggest, like, controversial element to that is hay nets.
Yes.
People are either pro hay net or against hay nets, or they're kind of on the fence.
I've not met a lot of people in the fence.
I've not either.
Most people I know are either diehard hay net, and other people are like, never. Hay nets are the spawn of evil. Like they are from the depths themselves. Like, okay.
So Shelby and I, we both feed hay nets. You
Yeah.
know, I have a round bale out in my pasture that has a hay net, and not just one, it's actually double netted because my horses were just ripping the hay out and not actually eating it.
They were being very picky.
They were being very wasteful too, and those round bales are pretty
That's where
expensive.
a feeder is helpful if you don't have a horse that tries to climb in the feeder.
There's two of mine in my herd that would.
Yeah. That's why you gotta be careful what feeder you buy too.
Yes. But not only hay nets on the round bales, but also like in the stalls, in the trailer, outside of the trailer. You know, there's little miniaturized nets. There's full bale, like square bale nets. There's different sizes and options, and
for the holes and
for the
how much hay they can get out.
Exactly. We're a big fan of a particular brand, but we're not going to name names because,
We love this brand. They make a very good product, and it doesn't have the same hazards some cheaper options have.
Yes. A lot of hay nets, like, you can find them for $4 on Amazon or whatnot, but
if you don't hang them right,
quality. Yes.
That's when you increase your risk.
Yes. If you have, like, an excess of rope or an excess of any material, like that's too big, you don't fill them properly, you don't hang them properly, you don't put them at the right height, or if you have a horse that plays with things or paws things and the holes are too big or they get a shoe caught in them. There's so many issues that can happen with nets if not used properly and if you don't educate yourself before purchasing.
I have found most, I'm not going to say all because there's always extenuating circumstances. I have found most people's complaints with hay nets come down to improper use.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
And usually 9 times out of 10, when people are extremely against them, it's because they've had this happen, poor use of a hay net, and something happened where the horse got stuck, or it didn't work for that horse, it didn't work for that barn, or it just didn't work for the human, too. You know, and they then have a grudge against using hay nets.
Yeah. Now, there are some animals you should never ever use a hay net with, mini horses and goats.
Yeah.
The reason for that is mini horses, their hooves are naturally so much smaller, you are not going to find a hay net they don't get stuck in.
Mm-hmm.
And two, because they're so small, they do have a tendency to strangle themselves.
Yeah.
As graphic and horrible as it sounds,
It is something that happens.
it is something to bear in mind. Hay nets and minis don't really mix well.
Mhm.
And this is after listening to a couple of mini breeders talk about why they prefer to feed loose, even though there is an increase of waste.
Mhm.
And then the other livestock is goats. Again, strangulation risk more than anything.
And their hooves are cloven
Yeah.
and super pointed and easy to get stuck in and not be able to pull out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
again, improper use and improper education is what that boils down to.
yes. And negligence of
Yeah.
informing yourself.
Yeah. It's truly, if you're using a hay net with a mini, I totally understand why it makes it really easy to travel.
Mhm.
But make sure you're supervising.
Or you have the correct, spacing or webbing in your hay net, for something that small.
Yeah. The other issue with hay nets too is how, like Skylar said, how they're hung. A lot of people will complain about like neck issues with hay nets.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hang them so high.
Don't hang them where your horse is having to reach to get their hay net or stretch up like a giraffe. That's how you know it's too high.
I find a good rule of thumb is when empty, the net should only reach the bottom of their chest.
Yes.
So when it's full, it's usually about the top of their chest,
Mhm.
depending on the type of net you use. But a good rule of thumb, the net should never be lower than the chest.
Yeah.
That still puts their head level, still gives them the option to hang their heads low to chew if they choose.
Mhm.
So,
Now, if you have a horse that has a tendency to paw or play with things in their stall or in their pasture, wherever you do have this hay net, maybe it's a good idea to hang it just a little bit higher than what we're recommending, just so they don't get anything caught in there.
or tuck the hay net within a feeder.
That too.
I keep a bale net in a trough in my field, so my geldings have two options to eat out of, which they don't really need now that I've adjusted my herd, but keeping the bale net in an enclosed space where they can't really paw at it helps as well.
Yeah. And that's another thing is people use mangers. People use tubs. They put hay in there and you can leave it in there free flowing, like no top. If you wanted to put kind of like a netting material over top or some type of barrier, webbing,
I've seen some people
panels,
use wood
bars.
with holes in it,
Exactly.
bars, cattle panels.
Anything that slows the horses from eating and kind of keeps
Makes
it
it
from
harder to
spilling
rip
everywhere.
it out.
Yeah.
Mangers tend to go on the walls. They're great for some horses, but again, you run into the risk of how they're angling their heads to eat.
Yeah.
And how they're chewing. Mangers can also be really dusty.
Mm.
You're throwing all that dust in the air when you throw it in. So troughs, like you said, ground feeders tend to be a better option if you're worried about the dust content.
Yeah. And some people are plain Jane and they just want to feed their horses, free flakes on the ground. That's totally fine too. That stimulates the natural foraging, grazing patterns, etc. Sometimes it does produce excess waste, and that's just something that you
Tends
have to
to produce
consider.
the most waste, but again, what works for your herd?
Yes. And
If-
what you prefer.
Yeah, if you have a shod senior who plays with everything you put in front of him, yeah, he might waste more with a loose bale, but he'll be safest.
Yeah.
So it's what works for your guys' herd. And, while Skylar and I love our hay nets and feed most of the time in hay nets, neither one of us is against throwing flakes on the ground if needed either.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't feel like filling a hay net, so just toss it on the ground.
I mean, there are days, like, if I know I'm going to be in the barn all day where I have eyes on my horses for the entire day, I won't give them hay nets. I'll kind of walk through and every hour or so go through and throw them a flake or two. Because I've got eyes on them, so they're not going to run out, but I can also monitor exactly how much they're eating.
Yeah.
And I've got one who tends to be really picky, so I might not give her any for 4 hours because I'm like, you still have the 2 flakes I gave you with breakfast.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah.
I have one who cannot be fed loose, period. If I feed him loose, he is just going to drag it around his stall and waste it.
Yeah.
And not like waste it in the sense that, oh, I could pile it back up and give it to the goat.
No, it is trashed.
It is trashed. It's peed on, it's pooped on, it's mashed into and mixed with the pellets and shavings. that's what he does if you feed him loose.
Yeah.
Even
Not
even in a net, he has a tendency to be really like bad about pulling stuff out and wasting it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 6 horses I'm in charge of, and trust me when I say I can give you the view of all of the things when it comes to hay nets. The horses that absolutely have to have them,
Yeah.
and the horses that can kind of go either way.
Yeah.
And that's where the type of hay you're feeding depends too. If you're feeding a stemmier, more fescue-based hay, yeah, in the later season, they're not going to love it as much. And you might want to
No.
feed a net to really force them to not be as picky. But-
Slow down a little bit, not waste as much.
Yeah, but if you're feeding a really nice soft mix that they find super palatable, you can feed that loose as long as they're not wasting it.
Mhm.
And some people don't care if their horses waste hay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you have an endless hay budget, I
That's
envy
great.
you.
That's so amazing.
I envy you.
Spare some change for the poor.
Yeah, because we need the hay's so expensive.
It is.
Like, we cannot afford our horses to be wasting it, guys.
No.
So we are like
No.
hay nets all the way, unfortunately. I know some
I-
people are going to disagree, but
Save every bit of hay that I can in their stalls.
well, and like I said, if I know they're not going to eat it, I have one mare that's really good at picking out each stem. So she'll pick out like the stems as long as your arm and just throw them on the ground.
Hmm.
If they're fine, I give them to the goat. I know a lot of people who have horses tend to have other livestock as well.
Yeah.
Your hay can be multi-purpose.
Mhm.
What the horses don't eat, offer to the goat. If the goat won't eat it, offer it to the
Or
cows.
turn it into straw and
It
use
makes decent bedding.
Yeah.
I prefer straw over hay. It's more absorbent and it's more airy. So it holds heat a little bit better. Hay tends to compress really well.
Mm-hmm.
Straw does not,
Yeah.
which makes it a pain to clean. But if you've got a mare who's about to foal, if you need a hospital stall, if you just need a very warm stall for your animals,
Yeah.
straw's great. But hay is it is an adventure determining the best hay for your horses,
Yeah.
determining how to get it in your barn, how to store it, and how to feed it.
Mhm.
Everything about hay is a magical adventure. You feel like you need a tour guide to explore the options.
Yes, and everybody has their own opinions.
They
and
do.
If you ask any question about hay online, you will get every opinion under the sun.
And you will get people who will be so like cemented into their opinion
Yes.
that there is nothing that's going to budge them. There's no amount of research. There's nothing.
You just have to let them rant and ramble and be on their way.
Yeah. And that's where nets come in. There are some people out there that swear nets are always evil.
Yeah.
But I know there's people out there that hate like nylon halters that clip instead of buckle. Again,
I hate them.
yeah. Again, that comes down to more often than not improper use.
Yes.
So, biggest thing with hay, do your own research, use your own thinking skills.
Ask questions.
Yeah, if you're not sure, consult a nutritionist.
Mhm.
Talk to your vet. Talk to the other horse people around you. And again, as I've said in previous episodes, if you are new to this and you ask someone a question and they are extremely rude, condescending, humiliating, if anything about consulting them makes you feel icky, send them, in their opinion, to the curb and find somebody else.
Yeah. It's not worth trying to build community based around those people because ultimately you're not building a community.
No.
No, not at all. And that's what we're trying to do here at the Highline Herd. We're trying to build a safe place where horse owners, new and old, can come together, share information, share stories, share little tidbits about your horses. Like, we want to see all of that. We want to build that with you guys.
Right. We want to really create a space where everybody is happy.
Yeah.
Where everybody feels good.
Yes.
So, if you guys have any suggestions for us on topics you'd like us to cover, if you have any questions about our hay episode that you want us to really deep dive into, let us know.
Yeah.
We are truly trying to build a community because we believe there are no stupid questions.
No.
We might make a face, but we are going to answer your question as kindly as we can.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how obvious it may seem to us.
Mm-mm.
What matters is you don't know.
Yeah.
And you're not going to know unless someone helps you.
No, and
Even the Google box doesn't have all the answers sometimes.
yes.
The horse community is still the horse world is still very word of mouth.
Very word of mouth, and there's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on. So
There's so much.
we want to break that, and we want to change things and create our own little community with you all.
Yeah, and really help you guys connect.
Yes. So just a little reminder, we just started up a Facebook page recently. It's The Highline Herd. You'll see it's the same photos that we have for everything. And alongside that Facebook page, we have started a little Facebook group. So if you or your friends want to join and share stories and engage with us directly, it's the perfect way to do that.
Yeah, the group is really for engagement from you guys.
Yes.
Getting your opinions, hearing your stories.
See pictures of your
Yeah.
horses and yeah.
Our page is where we'll have like a lot of updates on what we're doing.
Yep.
Our page is where you'll find most of our adventures. The group is where we want to see you guys, though.
Yes.
The group is our main passion project, so to put it.
Yes, very much so. So feel free to give us a like, follow, whatever you would like. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Spotify.
YouTube is going to have those longer form videos instead of the
Yes.
short videos. So if you want longer videos, we will be posting those to YouTube, and we will be posting more.
Yes.
The weather is turning.
Yay, spring's finally here. We just got to get through this one last leg of like early spring, and then the warmer weather is here.
It's on the horizon.
It's just like
The
end is in
horses are
sight.
shedding. The end is in sight.
Yeah, I brushed past one of my horses, and oh my god, it's like, what is it, the dandelion fluffs just
Mhm.
everywhere. Poof.
If you guys have ever seen a cattail top explode,
Yeah.
that's what our horses are like right now.
Yeah.
The hair is just I have two white horses in my barn now technically,
Yeah.
but the one is an actual woolly mammoth when it comes to being fuzzy,
Mhm.
and it just looks like it's snowing right now.
It's bad.
He lays down, he walks, he rolls, just white hair everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep.
So it's warming up, guys. We got a new trailer. We have tons of plans. Really start following and keeping tabs because we got some adventures and you're going to want to be with us
We
for 'em.
cannot wait to share these adventures with you guys. So, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we will see you in the next one.
We hope you enjoyed this week's topic. Join us for new episodes every Sunday. And to keep up with the herd, be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Highline Herd and visit our website at thehighlineherd.com. We hope you enjoy the show. See you next week.